So, hello guys, everyone. We are back again. For this time, we are now, of course, but test four. All right. The secret of staying young. I don't know what is that about, but we will see what we can do. Anyways, the questions are not that hard, I guess, because you can see that's first of all. Second of all, that is not moving away. Okay, thank you very much. All right. We have notes completion. They come in order, and true false not given. They come in order as well. So. Dentata ants are the only known animals which remain active for almost their whole lives. Okay, they remain active. Isabel Giraldo was the first person to study Dentata ants using precise data about the insect's ages. The ants in Giraldo's experiments behaved as she had predicted they would. Behave as she had predicted. The recent studies of bees use different methods of measuring age-related decline, and so on and so forth. Okay. And the last one is laboratory conditions tend to live longer. Here it's Isabel Geralda's research. Okay, let's see. Focused on a total of something, different age groups of ants analyzing behavior and brains. Focused on a total of. So what one thing I need to do right now is I have to put a table words for questions and similar words. Whoops, similar words from passage. All right, now let's go. So, Fadol dentata, a native ant of the southeastern U.S., isn't immortal. Isn't immortal. Okay, so like Fadol ants are the only known animals which remain active for almost their whole lives. But scientists have found that it doesn't seem to show any signs of aging. Old workers ants old workers ants can do everything just as well as the youngsters, and their brains appear just as sharp. We get a picture that these ants really don't decline, says Isabel Giraldo, who studies the ants for her doctoral thesis at Boston University. Okay, so are the only known animals which remain active for almost their whole lives. However, for the first stage, I think it's kind of false, but we will see what we can do. Moreover, um, it's like they're saying it's this the word isn't immortal. So the word here active. Uh, so let's say active for almost their whole lives means isn't immortal, right? So that's what is it saying? Pretty much that's what I believe. However, I forgot to write the OPP here. Whoops. Which means the opposite, right? So now, okay, I'm gonna just make sure I have a good format too. All right. Such defying feats are rare in the animal kingdom. Naked mole rats can live for almost 30 years and stay fit for nearly their entire lives. They can still reproduce even when old, and they never get cancer. But the vast majority of animals deteriorate with age, just like people do. Like the naked mole rat, ants are social creatures that usually live in highly organized colonies. It's this social complexity that makes Fidel-Dentata useful for studying aging for people. All right. Says Geraldo now at the California Institute of Technology. Humans are also highly social, a trait that has been conducted to healthier aging. By contrast, most animal studies of aging using mice, worms, or fruit flies, which all lead much more isolated lives. All right. Okay, focus on total of something, different age of groups, analyzing something else. Um, whoops. One thing if this is not the first, I'm sorry. It's number 9. I forgot to I forgot to name it. Put the number normally. In the lab, Fidel Dentata worker ants typically live for around 140 days. Gerald focused on ants at 4 age ranges, so typically live for around 140 days. Tend to live longer. True. Although we are not sure because there are more texts. However, I'm gonna underline in advance. So here I can find the question number 1 and question number 13. So I'm just gonna do as such here. Focus on a total of four. Four. So, four age ranges. So, on total, focused on everything is all right. So, how well ants looked after their something else. All right. Unlike all previous studies, which only estimated how old the ants were, her work tracked the ants from the time the pupae become adults, so she knew their exact ages. Then she put through a range of tests. Another answer, I guess, here. So, which means, unlike all previous studies, which only estimated how old how old the ants were, her work tracked the ants from the time the pupae become adults, so she knew their exact ages. So the ants in Gerald's experiment behave no. So Isabel Gerald was the first person to study Pheidopodentata ants using precise data about the insects about the insects' ages. Of course, that's true. While other people here it's saying unlike is the word here. Other people studied how old they were, how old they were. She studied the ages. Of course, they are pretty much similar. I mean, the thing here is that which only estimate how old the ants were, but she exactly studied the age. She did not study the, I mean, she did not like, pretty much. She just studied how how young ants and old ants would function, but other studies were pretty much about the about how old they were. They did not study about the functions and so on. So this is what it's trying to say. Okay, and Geraldo watched how well the ants took care of the young of the colony, recording how often each ant attended to, carried, and fed them. So, another another answer we have for here. The answer number for answer number two. So how well ants looked after their young. Uh, and then she appeared. So how well ants looked after their something. How well means how well the ants took care of the young. All right. She compared how well 20-day old and 95-day old ants followed the telltale scent that the insects usually leave to mark a trail to food. So their ability to locate something using a scent trail. Scent trail. So to locate what? Food. To find. To locate means to find. So the first one, groups of age groups of ants. Age group groups of ants is written as all right. Is written as what? Where was it? Four age. Whoops. Four age ranges. Four age ranges. Number two. Number two is so look looked after there how well looked after there so like looked the word looked after there is known to as took so took care. All right, now three. The word food ability to locate here what was it? So a telltale scent is a synonym for scent trail. Insects usually leave to mark. So we have locate. The word locate is known to have as to mark. To mark food. All right. Now, the effect that something had on them. So she tested how ants responded to light and also measured how active they were by counting how often ants in small dish walked across a line. And she experimented with how ants react to live prey, a tethered fruit fly. Gerald expected the older ants to perform poorly in all these tasks, but the older insects were all good caretakers and trail followers. The 95-day-old ants could track the scent even longer than their younger counterparts. So we have another answer here. The answer number 11. Answer number 11 says it's going to be false. So because here it says behave as she had predicted. So the experiments that Geraldo was conducting was I mean Geraldo was conducting an experiment that was all about how ages function, and she thought it was going to happen something. I mean, according to her, what she thinks. So, however, no. it became the opposite. Anyways, you can see that she expected the older ones to perform poorly. She expected to perform poorly, but here it's a contrasting word. Here it says, however, but they were good caretakers and trail followers. They could even track the scent even longer than their younger counterparts. So yeah, and how I mean the effect that something had on them. Something have had on them. Moreover, they all responded. They all responded Uh, do light well. What? They all responded to. It's not to light well. So responded effect that had on them. So I think it's gonna be light. Light. So the word light here for so the way the effect. Whoops. Effects. So number 4, had they all responded. So I'm gonna give it a number 4 here. So the number 4, how so the effect responded to. All right. Now, moreover, that's my watch going down. Now, 5, how something they attacked prey. All right. So, and when it comes to reacting to prey, the older ants attack the poor fruit fly just as aggressively as the young ones did, flaring their mandibles or pulling at fly legs. How aggressively they attacked prey? Aggressively? How aggressively they attacked prey doesn't just mean that it means the older ants attack the poor fruit fly just as aggressively as the young ones did. Here we can see that it wants uh how here it's some sort of an adjective. So although this is not an adjective but an adverb. So how something they attacked with prey. So some sort of a behavior they were expecting, right? So let me give this a highlight as well. Now we have 5. Number 5, it is, I think they attacked prey. I don't think it's really, I don't think it's really necessary, right? I think attacked prey, attacked prey means, I would say whoops, flaring their mandibles or pulling at the fly's legs, and so on. Now we have number 6, comparison between age and something of dying cells in the brains of ants. Now we have another ones. We have from here. I'm gonna give it this number 5. All right. The danger as well to compare the brains of 20-day-old and 95-day-old ant and identifying any cells that were close to death. She saw no major differences with age, nor was there any difference in the location of the dying cells. Comparison between age and the location of dying cells. Comparison between. So comparison. It's obvious. This is the compare. This is a comparison. Neither nor. No major differences, nor was there. So she saw no major. So it's another comparison. It's a contrasting. I mean, no, neither nor. So it's like a age and so we have age and we have location of dying cells. Condition of synaptic complexes, showing that age doesn't seem to affect specific brain functions. Ants and other insects have structures in their brains called mushroom bodies, which are important for processing information and learning and memory. She also wanted to see if aging affects the density of synaptic complexes within these structures, regions where neurons come together. Number 6. Um, number 6. Here it is comparison. Comparison. Comparison is playing the role of no, and then blah blah blah, nor. Okay, number 7. Number 7 we have as all right. So areas in which something meet, areas in which something meet is playing the role of come together. So come together. Meet, come together. Come together. So number 7 is going to be Neurons. What is coming together? Neurons. Level of 2, something in the brain associated with aging. Again, the answer was no. What was more, the old ants didn't experience any drop in the levels of either serotonin or dopamine, brain chemicals whose decline often coincides with aging. So, level of 2 chemicals in the brain. Chemicals, very obvious, very tricky, very, very tricky. Brains often decline. IELTS just loves paraphrasing. So, yeah, it was pretty obvious here. We found the answer as well easily. So level of 2. So level of what was that? Level of 2 means serotonin and dopamine. Dopamine. Serotonin and dopamine. All right. Now number 10, we already did that. The recent study of bees to use different methods. Anyways, this is the first time anyone who has looked at both behavior and neural changes in these ants so thoroughly, says Geraldo, who recently published the findings of the proceedings of the Royal Society Bee. Scientists have looked at some similar aspects in bees, but the results of recent bee studies were mixed. Some studies showed age-related declines, which biologists called senescence, and others didn't. For now, the study raises more questions than it answers, Geraldo says, including how Fidel dentata says in such good shape. This is not given here, very obvious. Uh, they use different methods, but here it doesn't say anything about the different methods, but they're just saying the results of bees were mixed. Results were mixed, but what kind of methods were used were not mentioned anyway. So yeah, there we go, guys. Another one. Fidel dentata ants keep. Okay. Also, if the ants don't deteriorate with age, why do they die at all? Out in the wild, the ants probably don't live for a full 140 days thanks to predators. So another part for the question number 13. Another part for the question number 13 here says that the ants typically live in the lab. They typically live for 140 days. But here it says in the wild, they don't live for a full 140 days because of the predators. They get eaten. So, yeah, obviously the answer is obvious. All right. So, another question number 13, continuous. All right. There you go, guys. We finalized our passage one. The next video is going to be about passage two. We'll see what we can do there as well. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below, and I'll come up with a very prompt response. And thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure, of course, to like it if you like it. If you don't like it, make sure to hit the dislike as well. Both are motivation for us. Anyways, once again, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.